Ladies and gentlemen, this is African Minute. This is breaking news. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, Captain Assimi Goita, General Tchiani, they said enough is enough. We are going to leave ICC, International Criminal Courts. That's breaking news. Let's go, guys.
Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger say that they are withdrawing from the International Criminal Court. The three West African countries accuse the ICC of being a, quote, instrument of neo-colonialist repression, saying that it only targets less privileged countries. They said they will no longer recognize its authority. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are all led by military governments, and those three governments have said that they will set up what they called indigenous mechanisms in its place. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Hack reports from Dakar in Senegal.
An instrument of neo-colonial repression in the hands of imperialism. Those are the cutting and strong words used in a joint statement from the Sahel countries. They say that the International Criminal Court delivers selective justice, a feeling shared by other countries in Africa where there seems to be a disproportionate amount of Africans being prosecuted at the ICC. There's been former heads of states, politicians that have spent years in detention to be then released without charge. Now, in the statement, they say that the ICC seems incapable of prosecuting obvious crimes, crimes against humanity, war crimes, but also crimes of genocide, clearly pointing the finger to Israel without mentioning them by name. And so this statement from these three countries to wanting to leave the ICC comes just as weeks ago a delegation of Republican senators visited Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, where there was discussion over the ICC membership. Now, the United States is not a member of the International Criminal Court. And so these three countries now, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, say they will create their own tribunal to try their own crimes of human rights violation away from The Hague, but on their own soil. Nicholas Hack, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
Maxine Rubin is a postdoctoral research fellow at the German Institute of Global and Area Studies. You've studied the ICC's relations with various African nations. You're joining us from Hamburg. It's great to have you on the program. What do you...
A few words here. Shout out to Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Captain Ibrahim Traore, Captain Assimi Goita, General Tchiani. That's a bold move. We love that. We hope all Africans leaders will do the same. We hope they all gonna say we are leaving ICC. We are leaving all the international institutions. We hope that's gonna be in the next future because we are tired of them. Those institutions were created to target us, not to help us. So, for me, they are worthless, useless. We don't need them. We need to create our own institutions. Okay? That's a bold move right there. I love that. I love that. That's, you see, I'm starting really believing those guys. I'm not saying I never believed in them. I'm saying I'm really starting believing them. Because when you do move like that, you're talking to me. Now you're talking. You know what I mean? Now you're talking. Now you're bold. Okay? Because it's okay. It's, we're doing things by ourselves, stuff like that. Okay, but when you start saying we're leaving the international institutions, I'm like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. And that's a bold move. Now, let's keep pushing. I don't know what the hell they bring in a German woman, European, to talk about African stuff. That's crazy. Let's keep pushing.
What do you make of this claim by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso that the ICC is, quote, an instrument of neo-colonial repression, that it only punishes developing countries?
Hi, Cyril, and thank you so much for having me on your show. I would hesitate to adopt that language that has been put forward by these three countries. It's a popular critique from after al-Bashir's arrest warrant was issued. But in this instance, I'm not sure it really holds water. It seems to be a thin veil for other motivations behind the withdrawal. In fact, Mali self-referred its own case to the ICC for investigation, which suggests that there's something more to the story than what they're presenting.
Okay, what would be the motivation to withdraw from the International Criminal Court, which, just to remind our viewers, is the global court that examines potentially criminal conduct of individuals, right? So we have one court, the ICJ, which can put states on trial or bring legal action against states, and the other one, ICC, brings legal action against individuals.
Yes, I think that's a very useful clarification. Thank you. So yes, the ICC investigates individuals for these four crimes: genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and crimes of aggression. And in my view, the motivation, the most immediate explanation for why these three states have quite suddenly withdrawn from the International Criminal Court seems to be that there's other political alliances that are shaping this, most likely Russia. These three states all had coups between 2020 and 2023. The new junta governments have clearly positioned themselves as being in alliance with Russia. And the International Criminal Court currently has a warrant of arrest for Putin for war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Ukraine crisis. So I suspect that there would probably be political pressure for them to make a stand against the International Criminal Court.
Okay.
That's stupid. She's telling us that Africans don't have, how can I say that? She's saying Africans cannot make their own decisions. They need an external force to push them to make decisions. In that case, Russia. That's crazy and that's insane. She's telling us that Africans are dumb. Okay? They are making their decision not because they don't like what's happening in ICC court. And what's happening in ICC court? They only prosecute Africans. Since they only prosecute Africans, we want to leave those courts. She's saying, no, that's not the reason. The reason is because Russia, the new alliance with Russia is shaping their dynamic, the relationships, and Russians are pushing those countries to leave ICC. Is she dumb? I think she's dumb. What do you guys think? That's crazy stuff. We leave and we want to leave those international institutions because they were not meant for us. They target us. They are against us, Africans. And we have the receipts. They only prosecute Africans. Okay? So, shout out to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. And I hope all those African leaders will do the same. We'll leave ICC. And next step, we'll leave all the international institutions. And we are going to create our own institutions on our soil. Okay? Let's push in, guys. Let's listen to that crazy lady.
So if I tell me if I'm understanding this right, you're saying that another possible reading of this is that countries that feel they may not want to subject themselves to scrutiny of potential criminal action would be the countries that would either never join the ICC in the first place. The US, China, Russia are examples. Israel is another example. And countries that may feel that the law could work against them sometime in the future, they would also be incentivized to withdraw from the Rome Statute. Would that be fair?
Exactly, I would agree with that. And I think it's important also to bear in mind why many states joined the court in the first place in the late 1990s and early 2000s.
You see? That's not the question. We don't care. My boy told you the truth. And she immediately moved the goalpost. Yeah, but we create that institution in the beginning for blah, 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 blah. We don't care about that. They are countries, government that are not member of the ICC, and for many reasons. Because they don't want to be prosecuted by them. All the European countries harm people, create proxy wars. Okay? Bomb other countries. Go to war against other countries. They are never prosecuted by the ICC. But only African countries. That's the reason why we are leaving those institutions. Don't come up here and say some crazy stuff. Do you guys heard the talking point? That's the reason why I make those videos. To share the news and to explain what's going on behind. How they view us. How they treat us. How they talk about us. How they want to stay on our neck. You know what I mean? They don't see what they do wrong. They only see what we do. That's a form of control. They want to control you. Control your continent. Control your country. Control your people. Scare you. If you do something like that, we are going to prosecute you. That's crazy. Those are talking points. And she's clearly against us. Never forget about that. We need to be intelligent. We need to be careful. Let's keep pushing, guys.
And one of the reasons for that amongst the African group was a belief that the International Criminal Court would be an equalizer, for example, to hold powerful states like Russia and US accountable. And that hasn't transpired because it's not a compulsory court to join, it's voluntary. So there also has been a bit of a disappointment from the initial vision for the court and what it's able to actually deliver.
Maxine Rubin, postdoctoral research fellow at the German Institute of Global and Area Studies. Thank you very much for joining us on the...
Yeah, she said a bunch of nonsensical things, but we don't care. Like I said, I don't know why they are talking about Africa policy, Africa politics, and they are bringing in a German European lady to talk about that. What the hell is wrong with these guys? There's a lot of Africans in Europe that went to political schools, that went to STEM field, history, sociology, anthropology. They did all those things, that can talk, are able to talk about those things since they are African. They understand what's going on there better than them, but they're still keeping bringing Europeans. I never seen European having conversation about Europe and bringing in African or some Native American from Guatemala or some stuff like that. Never do that. When they talk about China, Asia, they bring someone that is a specialist from Asia, stuff like that. But every time they talk about Africa, they always bring in European people. That's crazy to me. That's insane. But shout out to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, Captain Assimi Goita, General Tchiani. Good job. I believe in you guys. I believe in you. And we need to support those guys. They are doing the great job. And I hope all Africans leaders will do the same. They're gonna leave the ICC and all the international institutions as well. So guys, what do you guys think? Is it a good idea? Bad idea? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Comment, like, and If you want to be a member of the channel, be a member. It's great. I'm going to start to make videos for only members. We're gonna dive deep in some subjects that I cannot put here. You know what I mean? And yeah, shout out to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Breaking news. We love that. And like I say, one family, different lineage, one tree, different branches. This is African Minute. Till next time, take care of you and the family. Peace out.